this is the course all about just getting things done. None of the things that you have to get done are going to be all that exciting to you because you're exhausted. But the thing is that after you get those things done, you feel better. Things are done. You have more breathing room at home. You feel more organized. Feel it's kind of nice to organize things that aren't trauma related. They may feel boring and you may be exhausted, but to organize things that aren't trauma related has a little bit of a cleansing for us. But before you engage in that, I want you to keep these 5 ideas in mind that come from the book Recovery After Trauma Work for Healthcare Workers. Number one, I want you to be very patient with yourself. Number two, I want you to take each day at a time in terms of getting yourself and your life organized. And three, I want you to make sure that you take each chore at a time, putting it in its rightful place. I don't want you to give yourself a hard time and hate yourself and kick yourself because that's a waste of energy. And number four, I want you to use some of the procrastination tools I'm going to teach you in all of these classes under this course. And then four, I want you to clearly communicate to your family how you're going to be dedicated as part of your recovery work to some reorganization of life and getting things back on task and how they can interface with you. You can kind of plan and organize that with them. You really do feel quite differently when you look at your ordinary life and you get your ordinary life back online. It just feels kind of grounding. It puts you back into an identity of ordinary life. It puts you in the awareness of boring chores as opposed to trauma related work. And even though you may be emotionally exhausted, getting these things off your list will actually kind of clear up some of the space so you mentally and emotionally have more space and you will feel less exhausted. Either during the process of it getting it done, which is actually kind of interesting, and then of course after it's done. Now, one thing about household chores, they always come. There's always a need to dust. There's always a need to vacuum. There's always a need to wash clothes, dishes, etc. There's always a need. And you may have someone doing all those chores, but there are other chores. Bills always have to be paid. I mean, there's always this kind of reoccurrence process. And your home life is another job. Face it, it's another business. Home business is money management. It is space management. It is health management. It's another job. But you want to be as effective as you can, and so that one axiom of please communicate clearly to those people that are involved in organizing your space, how that's part of your recovery work and how you'd like to kind of put that into place. And then fifthly, make sure to also tell your family that you are working a recovery program and that you want to recover from trauma and that you know that this is a process where you're not entirely sure how you're going to show up on any given day. You're going to do your best. I mean, you're also going to be very compassionate with yourself because you're always going to create respect and also try to create respect with them as well. So those are the basics you want to keep in mind as you approach moving your life back into orderliness, your home life back into orderliness. So the second thing I want to give you is a procrastination tool number one, and we'll get into others in other classes under this course. The first one that I use a lot is what I call just get it done. That's my mantra in my head. So when there's something that I don't really want to do, just get it done. Just do the laundry, just fold the clothes, just put them away, just wash the dishes, just mop, just, whatever it is, just pay the bills, just get the accounting done, just, whatever that chore is. I always know that if I'm in the process of begrudging that I have to do it or irritating, that it hangs over and occupies too much mental and emotional space. And that I'm actually going to occupy a lot less mental and emotional space if I just get it done. It also will take less time if I just get it done than if I sit there and think about getting it done, which robs me of too much time and space. So this idea of just jumping up and getting it done is really, really helpful. And there are tools that people use like the countdown, like with the children. Okay, I'm going to have you do this in a count of three. 1, 2, 3. And that idea of at hit three, I have to move into action. Just get it done for me is one of those. You could say it's like Nike's just do it. But to me, it's the getting it done. Just get it done. And the word just for me also means it's not that big a deal. And in the scheme of all the complicated things you do at work as a healthcare worker, probably those chores, they're routine, they're laborious, they're repetitive. but they're not complicated. You just have to get them done. They're not nearly as complicated as saving people's lives. So that's procrastination tip number one, and I'll see you in the next class.